I won't always be around. I won't always be there. And at some juncture, they may actually make the decision to be a bench woman. It'll break my heart. But when they make the decision, it won't be because they didn't know. They've had to make a conscious decision to be that. Be anything less than a star player, they had to make a conscious decision.
Exactly.
Because they'll know all the rules.
But I also believe if the foundation is laid, even if I go astray, I will come back to my foundation.
Sure.
Just like if, right. So if you teach me all these rules, if I decide to be the bench warmer or the skill player, I know it's that feeling inside.
Yeah.
This is not where my role is. I know I'm worth more, but I'm gonna ride this out for whatever, a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years. I'm gonna go back to what I am comfortable with. I'm gonna go back to my worth if that's what you taught me. You have to lay the foundation. It's important.
I think the other thing too is that we gotta come out of the gate holding people accountable for the relationships they start. That's where a lot of problems lie, is that you don't wanna hold accountability. A woman knows when she's being BS and that she's the bench warmer or whatever, but her fear of if I hold him accountable, half of a man is better than no man. Okay, so then it's okay for him to do the things that we hold. So if we come out of the fear, because okay, once you say hello, we're in a relationship. It may not be an intimate relationship, or we are now, if you're occupying space, if you're occupying time, we're in some form of a relationship. The problem is that the average adult does not know what a relationship is. So we get people to say, oh no, we just chilling. We just chilling. You want to chill, go stand in the refrigerator. That's not just chilling. We're in some form of relationship.
Well, see that.
Right. So that's what you need definition up front.
From a man's perspective,
Definition up front.
yeah, we gotta have the conversation. We can't assume that we're in a relationship. Once we're in a relationship, we gotta have that relationship conversation.
Right.
But when
If
is
you
that
like
when-
me,
I
are
love
we in a relationship?
Yes.
Single, monogamous, long-term, relationship. If we don't have the words, I will let you assume all day long and all night long we in this relationship.
But
We
you
ain't
may
had it
not
out.
need that relationship. You may not have the words. You may it's the action. Because women go by action
Yeah,
sometimes.
I know, but see, but
Because the thing of it is that you might not say that you love me, but your actions may let me know that you love me. So I'm already gonna take it that we're in a
Sure.
relationship.
and I
But-
know that enough about you to know if I do the right things, you're gonna think the right things, and I'm gonna be able to do other things because you think that we're in. If we have not had that conversation,
We're not in a relationship.
we're not in a relationship.
Right,
You
so,
know, that's also a choice though, because I grew up in a two-family, two-parent household, upper class, middle, class Americans, and both my parents were educators. And my father was the epitome of respect, a leader, all the wonderful things, had all the attributes that, anybody would want in a spouse or a mate or whatever when you could grow up and you want to find someone, except that you make choices. And at some point, you decide, okay, do I really want that, or do I want a bad boy, because that's more exciting? You make that choice to be a bench warmer or whatever. You make that choice for as long as you choose to stay in that role, but you still come out knowing who you are in the beginning, especially depending on where you come. You can come from the hood, but you also know, I don't want to stay here all the rest of my life. I have bigger aspirations. He may play me now, but this is not the role I accept.
but that's funny that you said that because my dad, I'm just having to use myself
Sure.
as an example. My dad was what you said, I know he's gonna say this, I know he's gonna do that, the first date, he's gonna want you to do this, thus and so. So he wanted me to follow all of that, but my dad was doing the total opposite of what he wanted me to do. He was not faithful and he was doing other things outside of the marriage, and I was watching all this, so I'm confused now. Because I'm like, you're telling me to do all of this, and then you're doing the total opposite of what you're doing. So in essence, what I'm watching is that you're supposed to be the head and the protector, but now we have to protect ourselves from the head and the protector. You
Yeah,
understand
no,
what I'm
I
saying?
got you. I got you. And let's shift directions. There was a conversation earlier about women, when they get their man, they think they can change.
Yes.
Okay? I heard someone say this, that women marry men thinking they can change. Men marry women thinking they won't change. And the truth is neither one's right.
That is true, because my grandmother always said it. I just had this conversation the other day. Never try to change a man. If you get that man and if he's bummy and he doesn't know how to dress and he has bad manners, charge of trying to change him and fix him up, you fixing him up for somebody else.
Now,
Just like she's always said.
yourself.
That
You
my
can change
grandma
how
always
you
said,
react
"Forget
to
it."
somebody
Well,
else, though.
I'm just saying that's what the
That's
old
what they
time,
say.
and that's not what they said. And she also
You
told
lead
me
by
never mind being a
example.
PhD, so they always walk out of your life.
But I,
Come on, man.
That's what my grandmother said.
well, I'm
That's
saying,
wisdom.
But
That-
you-
that's
I call
wisdom.
that superstition. They call it superstition. I say it's superstition. That's what I call it, superstition. That's what it is. Me being
She always told me that.
and I'm not trying to say anybody's old here,
Sure.
because I know I'm probably like a little bit younger, but all of that right there, like I said, that's superstition. Because the whole aspect, going back to what you were sitting here saying about not having the conversation. If we don't talk about a relationship conversation, then that doesn't mean we're not in a relationship. Nowadays, everybody is lying to themselves. Nobody wants to admit their real feelings because they're scared they're gonna get hurt. So of course, everybody's gonna sit here and talk around in circles, and they're gonna say, you know what, this is how it's gonna be or whatever, it's whatever. We ain't talked about this, it's not real, but in general, reactions, actions, they speak
Exactly.
louder than words.
So what happens when
Always.
what happens when a lady, if you didn't tell me we were in a relationship, but what if I dropped the L word on you?
Oh, that's a problem.
well, then my thing,
That's
see,
You
but
know what I
here's
mean?
my, no,
Because
watch
if I
this.
drop that L word, that's like the L bomb.
It's just-
Of
You know what I mean?
Of course it's
Now,
a
make sure I
problem.
understand the other word. That's lust, because I'm all about
No,
that.
that's all about that love thing. It's
Now
all
watch this,
about
now watch this,
that
now
love
watch this,
thing.
here we go.
It's all about
This is where we have a problem. This is where the world as a whole has a problem, because we don't understand the concept of how to use certain words.
That's true.
When a woman, or when a person says, I love you, you can't love me if you don't know me.
Say it again.
That's
Say it
number one.
again.
Number
I
two,
agree.
number
But what if I
two, you
think
go,
that I know you? What if I just think that I know everything? I've been with you for 3 months, and I just.
Mhm.
That
I
ain't
think
long
that,
enough to
I know, but
You
I'm
used
just
the wrong
saying.
words. You said think.
But what I'm saying is that there's people that have been that met or went on a date,
Right, right.
and within a week they knew they were in love with each other, and they've been married for
In love-
85
now
years.
watch this.
love
No,
and
no, watch
loving
this.
people are different things.
Absolutely.
But
That's
but
true.
again,
That's true.
like you said, they've known each other for 3 months. I guarantee you that you and I, of course, we could be friends for 3 months, and I
Sure.
guarantee you, you still wouldn't know where I am or what I'm doing. What you should have done, okay, first of all, again, goes back to that leadership thing that we talked about in the beginning. If a man knows where he's going, then it's for the woman to be able to use her wisdom to make sure that the man is going where he's supposed to go. Then that L word would not even come out, because once he gets to where he's going and she sees that there's stability, there's someone who can provide, there's someone who can protect and serve, then hey, you'll be okay, you'll be fine. But if you just throwing around, oh wow, you know what? You make 7 figures. I love you. No, I'm sorry. You don't do that. That's just like buying a new car. I like a Mercedes, but how you gonna like a Mercedes when you only got Toyota payment?
And here's the other thing. And men, I think we really believe that when she says she loves us, there's something behind that, more than just she loves us. And a lot of times we simply believe she's trying to maneuver or manipulate me into something, because in my mind, she don't know me well enough.
And
I
you know why
disagree
you
with
think
that. I
that?
disagree with you.
You know why you think that, right?
No.
Because 9
You can
times out of
just-
10,
I
men
disagree.
always throw out that love word just to get what they want.
Boom.
That's why.
Absolutely.
That is why.
Boom.
That's the reason why you think that.
That's absolutely. Oh my God. No,
A
I'm
man will
not.
sit here and say they love a woman first before
Oh
a
my
woman
God.
will say that first. Because the thing
Men
is
play
that
love
you will
to get
sit here.
sex.
It cracks me
Women play
up.
sex to get love.
The nowadays, and I can speak from recent experience. I can speak to this from
Recent
personal
experience.
experience. Recent and personal experience. Basically, this is how it is nowadays in the game. Men are so desperate and they are so insecure about themselves that they will sit here and do whatever they can. They will sit here and
Hold up.
They
Hold up.
will sit here and do
No,
whatever
no,
they can.
No, wait a minute, hold on. I'm gonna go, wait.
You're shaking. You're shaking.
I'm gonna throw the flag on this one.
You can't throw the flag if you don't want me to. You gotta do whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna hear you. We're gonna listen. Let's
All
listen.
I'm saying.
Fellas, let's listen. Let's listen.
Don't judge before until you know what I'm gonna say.
Right.
Green goes great. I'm about to say, anybody got some oxygen? Great.
All right, let's
Well,
see this.
Okay,
Go ahead.
like I said, from personal experience, I've had one man before. Matter of fact, he's not even a man because you can't call yourself a man for doing something like this. I've had a boy before sit here and call themselves holding conversation. Conversation go on for months. Sitting here, being able to meet in person, go out, doing nothing but just courting each other. And basically all it was just a pawn to get what they want. Throwing out that L word, and I'm sitting here like, okay, that may be how you're feeling, but that's not how I'm feeling. But we can go ahead and still continue to work on this. But then as soon as that person gets what they want, next thing you know, no calls, no phone calls, ignoring and everything. Nowadays, this is what's going on. These boys out here, matter of fact, I don't even want to call them boys, I want to call them something lower, but you know what, I'm going to respect you guys, okay?
Thank you.
These boys out here, they are actually stooping that low and getting that desperate now of trying to go ahead and get these girls to get what they want. So that's why I said men are so easily to throw out that love word. And that's the reason why y'all thinking that way.
Okay,
You're thinking that we're going to do the same thing that you already do every day.
But you're describing a boy and a man. There's a difference. If you're talking about a boy is gonna be like, hey, well, you know, I love you. But a man, he's going to evaluate the situation. He's going to find your worth. He's going to know your worth, and then he's going to know in his heart, this is the woman I want to be with, and I do love her. A man's not just going to throw out the love word.
Here's one of the misconceptions, and guys, you guys might have to back me up on this one.
All right.
Okay? All right. All the love talk, all this love talk. Okay. First of all, when we talk about we love you, and when we really wanted to express this love to you, that's to make sure that we take you guys off the market for anybody else.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're trying to close down the cookie jar factory for everybody else. Because when you think we love you, okay, you close yourself off to everybody else. And that's so. And we'll say it before because we have the potential to love you. We'll say we love you before we actually do, because I can't truly love you until I'm willing to give my. I ain't going down like that.
Now hear this. When we're talking about this love thing, okay, let's go ahead and call it what it is. It only takes a moment to like somebody, but it takes a lifetime to love someone. So therefore, if somebody is going to tell you that they love you, first of all, ladies, we need to do our homework. If this guy has been in 1, 2, 8, 10, 12 relationships, and he throws out the love word, flag, that should already, you should be like, oh, that's cute, thank you very much. But unfortunately right now, we haven't been in this relationship that long in order for us to express that. I'm still liking you, I'm still trying to understand you, I'm still, so see, once you do that, then not only are you letting the man know where you are, but you're also protecting yourself from being hurt. So now, why am I saying that? Because the next relationship you get in, which there might be a good man for you, you'll go around and bust him upside the head because of the last guy you was with. See, so therefore what we have to do is we have to make sure our homework is straight, make sure that this guy is not going to lead me into a place where I don't want to go, take me where I don't want to stay. Okay, so then once you do that, then again, the love word won't even come up. You'll understand relationship issues as well.
That's all good and fine. But most of the men that know that if I say this, I'm in there. Someone tell you I love you. Yes, is that what it's gonna do? Okay, I love you. I love you. And then, okay, are we gonna move into this? Is that gonna be the spot where, okay, if I say I love you, you want me to really love you? I'm just so in love with you right now. I just want to hear that because I want to see that look on your face that says, yeah, she about to throw that flag up. She about, okay. And we feel that way because, okay, what is it going to take? Just like you said, what is it going to take to get me from point A to point B? In most times, it takes time for us to fall in love. We don't go in with the expectations of love. We never go in with expectations of love. Right. We go in with expectations of how far can we go to get what we want that you have that's available to us. It don't necessarily have to be sex. It can be your money, it can be your lifestyle, it can be, if I can just move in this house. Oh my God,
hey,
what is it going to take?
That's a bonus. So, hey, I really enjoyed having this conversation with you guys, and thank you so much for joining me on The Rules with Coach and Friends. I was so looking forward to spending some more time together. Join us next week as we go into a different rule and we start talking about, don't you know who you is? We'll talk to you next week. Thank you very much, and have a great evening. Wonderful job, folks, wonderful job.
Oh, you stopped. Oh.
And friends, and we welcome you back to the rules, and we got a good time.
Okay.
All right?
All right, we ready.
So, here's what I want to talk about. In every relationship, at the beginning of it, you guys are just getting to know each other. We bring in this baggage with us. Okay? You know, so I want to talk about how do we identify our baggage, and how do we get rid of this stuff. In fact, why y'all be bringing all the drama into relationships? Every time I start one of y'all.
We was analyzing you back there. Somebody got you. Somebody got you.
Y'all come in with baggage, talking about I'm insecure. That's your baggage.
No,
Talk
about
to me.
You know what really trips me out? All these ladies that seem to be in authority on what men do and what they don't have and what they don't know.
You won't
Know
talking
nothing
like
about
that
no man.
back there. Come on now.
Know
You
something
won't
about a
talking like that
man.
back there.
Ask a real man.
And you've been a man for how long? Maybe I get this.
We've
You've
been
been a man for
for how long?
Oh, I've been
Boom.
a man. I've been a man for at least 30 years.
Now you say you want
At
to
least
submit.
30 years.
Well, here's the thing. This isn't about how long you've been a man
Okay.
or if it's in question. But what the question is,
I
like that,
don't-
Ron.
I don't-
you know,
Don't keep
you
that.
gotta put a little bit in. The question is, that's okay. Okay, all right. But the question
No
about the
cake.
baggage.
No tuna.
And where does the baggage come from? And the thing is that sometimes, and I've said this before, sometimes we have blind spots and we don't realize what baggage we have. Sometimes I can recognize your baggage before you can recognize it. Like if you tell me all the women you dated, you know, she used to throw trash cans at me, you know, and yeah, trash cans. This is a real story. I had a boyfriend like that. Like Della Reese, yeah, you know, trash cans. You know, I had to cut her. You know, and so you talk about you, and now I know why you always argue with me because you have baggage of confrontation. But you don't realize that because I might not be like, you know, what they say on the Beyonce Lemonade, Becky with the good hair. I might not be like her, but you're confrontational, and it's not because of me. It's because you might not recognize that you have a baggage, of confrontation. Same as for me. I may have you. One of you all said it in one of the shows about, you know, I'm the good man, but then you come into the relationship and I'm ready to beat you in the head because of what he did. Because I have baggage that maybe you were ITS. You know, you had Ike Turner syndrome. I made that up.
See, like we are.
It wasn't me, it was fraud.
Okay, you're wrong. You're right.
We were talking about this earlier, but sometimes all you know is pain. When all you know is pain from when you were a kid, you know, I love my mom to death, but they taught me rejection and abandonment. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I lie you right now. My daughter will never feel that from me. She'll never feel unloved. She'll never
That's
feel
right,
that. But the reality is, my mom, when I got older, my grandmother, that shit was kind of shiesty.
Wow.
But I understand why my mom became shiesty. You know what I'm saying? It was internal instinct because she was bred it from like a baby, so it was embedded in you. So we don't even know half these things. I dated dudes to the point where I felt like a secret so much that when I got with a dude, I didn't know how to come out of the closet on some real life stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Because dudes had so much stuff with them, they would keep me hidden because of their dirt, because of their insecurities.
Right.
So I got used to staying home. I got used to different things. But when you got to, the reality is, I'm not fighting you. I'm fighting your demon. But we
Right.
don't want to address your demon.
So we gotta learn how to identify generational curses.
Well, now,
And soul ties.
And soul ties.
let's talk about soul ties.
It's soul
Okay,
ties.
so here's the thing.
Okay.
What is a soul tie?
That means when we have intimacies, television, I don't know how raw it can get, when we have intimacy and we join fluids, our souls mix. You know, I'm trying to make it sound nice.
So we have these cookie jar conversations, the cookie jar encounters, right? We have cookie jar encounters.
It's not through conversation. It's through sexual intimacy.
Okay, so we have cookie jar
Right.
encounters.
Right. Oh,
Right.
cookie jar encounters. I like that. Okay.
Okay?
I was having a
You
blind
saying-
moment, legitimately.
Okay,
I like Oreo.
so we have cookie jar confrontation or encounter. That creates a soul tie.
Yes.
Yes,
Absolutely.
because
you
that's
wake up
what
the next
people don't understand
Right.
what true marriage is. True marriage is not going down to the justice.
That's it. Break it down.
Getting that license and so on and so forth. True marriage is when there's intimacy between a man and a woman and they start to connect each other.
Hold on.
Like, when he
Yeah, we
went
talk-
in
we
for
talk-
her,
we talk about
that's
that
true
now.
marriage.
So that means that
You-
some of us
what?
been married to a lot of folks.
Yeah. And
we're
we're
not divorced.
Hey, they used
No, we're
to
not.
call
We're
me-
not. No, I'm not even all about that.
I'm not married to you.
Because
I can
I'm
definitely
dealing
say
with
that.
I love you, Ron.
Absolutely.
And that's true. They used to call me Solomon Jr.
But the reality is, some of my issues, some stuff that I'm dealing with right now, it's not even my issue.
It's not your issue.
Think about it.
Right.
Think about it. You ever been with somebody and they go home and the next day you exhausted,
Yes.
tired, you itching, you scratching, you scared of something you've been scared of? That's not even your problem.
And that's just
their
it,
problem.
ladies. That's just it. You have to be careful who you hook up with because you can bring on their demons, their soul ties, and you find yourself acting out characteristic that's not even synonymous with who you are. You acting like them.
But sometimes
And you
we don't
carry
even, that's the sad part. It goes back to what we talked about earlier. We don't know ourselves. We don't want to address the things that hurt
Right.
us because that means we're going to become vulnerable. We don't want to become victims. We don't want to seem like we're not good women or good men. But we don't want to go back to, I know that I realized that I never experienced love my whole life. I'm 37.
Yeah.
And I've never experienced love. And that's because when I was 13, I think Poetic Justice had came out.
Yes.
And with Tupac and Jan Jackson.
And Janet
And-
Jackson.
This was like my first. This was like my first real. This was my first boyfriend. I thought was my boyfriend. Like I. That's a whole other topic. But he was. I think he's my boyfriend, and I was dressed up. This is the first time I could go out by myself. I was really excited. He came up to me, and he was just like, I didn't talk to you. So I'm like, yeah, we're gonna go to the movies on the train by ourselves. He was like, I don't love you anymore. Wow. I was like, what? I don't love you anymore. And I was like, at 13, I'm like, I don't love you no more. So I went to the movies, Total Justice. And in the movie, when his cousin died, he treated her like crap. He screamed at her or whatever. And then he came back at the end and it was okay. And I remember the song came on again, the Jandas came on again, it was playing. And when it came on, I sat there and was like, he don't love me anymore. He don't love me anymore. And I started repeating it. I started crying. But when he came back a couple days later, the movie told me, he gonna hurt you, and he gonna come back. You take him back. That's what I was taught. That's why I gave men so many chances. Because after they hurt me, okay, he gonna come back.
And that's where baggage develops. It develops from
So
your
I
own
developed that from
experiences.
13 until I didn't find myself till I'm 37. I didn't find myself till I was 31.
Right.
So I lived this whole life based on that experience when I was 13.
That's
Right.
it.
So this makes sense. Now we kind of contradict ourselves and how we live our life and what's really good for us. That's why it's really it's good to practice monogamy. It's not a popular word to use nowadays, right?
What do you say?
But if you ever find yourself thinking about somebody you had sex with 14 years ago, when a certain song come on, and you be like, oh yeah.
Let me call Brenda
Yeah.
with the word.
That's right. That's what causes you to fall into temptation because you shouldn't have any. Really and truly, you should only know one partner. Because if you know one partner, you have no idea how to think outside the box about somebody else. That's why it's so important to know one another.
We always got ideas of how to think about somebody else.
Well, we do, but I mean, it makes it less tempting when you only had one partner, and that's all you know.
You know, one of my sisters said something real good earlier. They said something that the reality is, that's what I want. The reality is I want to say that I only want to be with one person. I want to teach my children only to be with one person. But that is not what society is telling them and what is showing them. So what do? We know about that. We know about soul ties. What are we telling them to do to demolish them? Because the same way you get a divorce, you can break away.
So, do we know about soul ties? I mean, we're talking, but do we honestly know about soul ties? Do we honestly know about that? Because before we can get to a point where we can start telling folks what to do about it, we have to make sure we understand for ourselves.
A lot of times we don't want to do that because that means that you're going to look up one day and be like, you know what? Coach got low self-esteem. Diggs got low self-esteem.
That's it.
Like, then that means how are people going to perceive us because then we have to not look pretty to the public. We're not going to look good. We're not going to have it together all the time when I think I spent 2 of my years going to bed crying every night. But social media don't reflect that.
That's
Hey,
right.
Coach, you said something earlier. You said something earlier. Women get over you, they leave you. They already over you.
They're done.
Men
Yeah,
get over 2 years. It take them 2 years to heal because
But you'll pretend to be over it.
Right, hard. This is my
You'll
point.
pretend to be over it.
But this is my point. We can't sit there and let you rub our face in the dirt. We got to show some kind of respect for ourselves.
But then you're building baggage because you're packing it in.
Well, that's
by
true too.
accident.
Well, that's true too. But you know, that ego thing is a terrible thing. But that's why it's so important for us to know what soul tie is. That's why it's so hard for you to let that man go because you keep sleeping with him. Every time you sleep with him, you start over the process. It's just like pulling the scab off. Just like a lot of women, when they leave you, they'll call you back because they left you on purpose, but they'll call you back so you can hear their voice, so you can, oh, I love you all over again. But then they leave again.
If they've already created the soul tie, sorry, Coach, it's not even always about sex. If I've already got that soul tie with you, you can't just call me. You can just do this. You're going to keep pouring back into me. Keep
That's right, I'm sorry.
So-
So if the person is not good for you, you need to cut them off. You don't even need to hear their voice.
That's the thing.
You don't need to
See,
be intimate with them.
I go
You
cold
cut it
turkey.
off.
I block
Everything.
your
Girl, you
number,
can't
block
go-
the text
you can't go
messages.
cold turkey.
Is that even realistic?
I'm the man.
Is that even
I'm not on your
realistic?
bitch.
Look,
No.
look,
If
look,
you don't bitch,
look,
I'm
look.
still, I love you.
All right,
37
so look, all right, we need to take a commercial break here just for a second. We'll be right back.
Keep me off the bench. I'm ready to go in, girl.
Good conversation, good dialogue. I need you to exit.
Okay, get over it.
One, action.
Right before we went to commercial, we were talking about baggage and soul ties. And what I'm really interested in is how do we break soul ties?
Okay, well, to break a soul tie, first you have to know the definition of it. And personally, I think a soul tie is when you are intimate, and it doesn't have to be physical, it could be mental. And it's that attachment, it's that you feel dependent on that person for emotional support, for physical support, sexual, whatever. And you're basically everybody who they have slept with or been with, that is into you. You know, they're transforming those things into you.
So you and I
Yes.
are together. We in a monogamous, long-term.
And you bring all those past women into our relationship. And that's your baggage.
But that soul tie we have, you're saying you get some of her and some of her and some of her too.
You do.
I disagree.
I disagree.
I totally disagree with that. And the real reason why I disagree with that is that if I meet you and we start kicking it, we fall in love, that's it. I'm not thinking about a person that I slept with 10 years ago, 3 months ago, because it's all about you. So I'm gonna sever that right there.
How do
I
you
don't-
sever that? How do you sever that?
Because of the relationship and the bond that we're building, I'm not,
You were with this guy 15 years, and you meet me 2 years after you break up. How you want to just dismiss 15 years of love and respect and all that stuff just because you think so? Just because I said so? It doesn't really work like that?
yes, it does. It does work that way. Because I'm going in new in a brand new relationship. And I'm going in with my eyes open. And I have detoxed, that's a great word, from, I've detoxed from that gentleman. I went through my mourning period, I stayed in my bed and cried, then I had to get up, because that happened to me. I was really in love with this guy, and then now he's out having a great time, I'm in the bed, I'm sleeping, and I'm crying, he's not even thinking about me. I mean, my mom's trying to get me to get up, my girlfriends are calling me. One day I hear this Patti LaBelle song, I Got a New Attitude. That's when that was hot. It was hot, smoking. And I was like, what are you doing? This guy is out there having a great time. Probably doing as many people as he wants, and I'm just laying in this bed.
Because you got to the point to be
Right.
truthful to
So,
yourself.
right.
I think the problem is that number one, people need to know before they even start talking about love, they need to know the definition of intimacy, okay?
Right.
And they don't know that. Then what that soul tie brings in, when you break off, in a relationship, it's like a death, okay? So you need to have a funeral, you need to bury it,
That's
you
right.
need to mourn,
That's
you
right.
need to go through your period.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I know one of the young ladies that was on one of your past shows, she was talking about learning how to love and not having that example. A lot of people don't realize that they're suffering from post-relationship trauma, okay? And it starts, if you grow up in a household and you don't know how to love, then your expectation is you need to go out and get help to learn what love is before you start getting into relationships.
And that is true. And the thing of it is that I'm 56, and I think that I'm fabulous. You know what I mean? At this age. And thank you. And I have learned a lot of life lessons. But one of the most profound lessons that I have learned at my age, that I love myself so much. I'm in love with me, that I can date myself. I've never felt that way before.
I go out to
Which
dinner with
makes
myself,
which makes my relationship with my husband that much better.
That's right.
Because all my securities, I just felt like I was just having a waiting to exhale moment, just a woosah moment.
Oh, you weren't trying to burn cars and stuff.
No, I wasn't trying to do it all like that, But I have thrown some stuff out of the closet. My husband has come home and found all the stuff in the middle of the floor. You know what I mean? But again, to have that feeling, that passion, that love about myself
All right, so
is amazing.
So, see, as for guys, soul ties is real hard for us. First of all, we don't like to make we get hurt.
Right.
Okay? So it'll be, and when you quit us, first of all, that don't work for us. We're gonna call you back, we're gonna wing you back just so we can dump you.
Exactly.
because,
Right,
And that's
exactly,
happened to me
exactly.
before.
That is
that helps me break the soul tie. If you broke up with me, I'm hooked. I can't believe she did that to me. It'll be 15 years. I'll be in a fetal position somewhere. You know,
Right, that's the one thing my dad always said. He said the one thing a man never wants is a woman to hate him.
yeah.
That is the
Oh,
worst
man.
thing in the whole entire world. He said because it just does something to you.
Even if we can't get with you, we want you to like us.
No, he said, we're not gonna even like you. Because you did too much.
For example, I have a situation. Okay, I got married, okay, and I found out he was still married to someone else 3 months into the marriage. So exactly, we had a child together. So that is definitely a whole total different dynamic, and it's hard to break that soul tie.
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was I dumped
That's a
him.
show all by itself.
He wanted to work it out. He was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and make the divorce legal. We stay together. And I told him, no, it's over. And until this day, like you said, men do not want women hating them, or they want to be the ones to break up, get back with you and break up. Because to this day, he tells everybody, oh, she broke up with me. I hate her. I can't stand her. But then he wanted to come back, like you said.
And he'll come back today.
Yeah, yeah, he
But
would.
why is that,
He
Coach?
would.
Tell me, break that down to me. I really want to know why that is with men.
Part of it is ego. If I've ever been, if we've ever had a cookie jar encounter, I believe I have the right to your cookie jar for the rest of my
And
life.
men do. They do.
You do.
Yes.
They
Why is
believe
that?
Men, not that they do have the right to it, but they do think that they
Because,
do.
Because so you think you just had that hidden key that's like a treasure box, you can just
like
go
that.
in and out of
Well,
it.
I done got into, no,
They own you.
I have written my name on your body.
That's right. They mark
Really?
the territory.
Because what science tells us is that you will carry my DNA with you for the rest of your life. Science
Even
tells us
deeper
that.
than that, I think the thing is that they want to go back to be sure that they can go back because the insecurity of thinking that somebody else hit it and did
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
yeah.
The worst
yeah,
thing
yeah.
for us to know, after us, we want the shop to be closed out, cobwebs and everything. We want it
Yes,
all
because you know
closed
what they do?
Yeah.
Men will be like,
Like that
oh,
now.
he ain't nothing, you know, he a punk, he's
I don't want to hear
a
about
foul ball. That's the word. All the guys, oh, that's a foul ball. What you doing with that foul ball? They constantly will break down that other dude that you're with when they see with somebody, and that's
Well, that's
bullshit.
not necessarily true because I am going through something in my personal life now, and this person and I, we had a relationship many years ago,
You still.
but I still look young. And I know
Yeah.
She blushing.
Yes, I know.
But no, seriously, we had a previous relationship, and both times I broke up with him, and then he came back into my life, and he still talks about, well, you know, I can't believe that you left me. I can't believe that you did this. But then I tell him, at the end of the day, what were you doing?
Exactly.
You know, I was like, I was a young thing in my prime, and you did not appreciate me, so I had to move on, you know. But I feel that they do try to come back. They do try to get back with you, and he has made statements as in, you know, I can't believe that you moved on, and I can't believe you were with somebody else. But what were you doing?
But what happens if you get this? What happens if you get this? Who told you that we broke up?
Yeah, 'cause we
I
don't
got
have-
that. I never
because
said we weren't together.
If we don't,
Oh, I
have
totally-
that conversation,
Where does that come from?
we had
that's another-
we ain't had a conversation. You still mine. You just out there cheating on me.
Oh my God.
That's psycho right there.
This is the problem that I'm having, okay? All of us live in some form of home, house, or whatever, and we take out the garbage. When we throw out the garbage, we don't change our mind and go back outside and get the garbage and say, you know what, this is pretty
I am
good garbage.
not
Let me
garbage.
keep it. My point is, if a person is an ex, they're an ex for a reason. And what happens is, so
because you
we
can't
know
appreciate
what
me
happens
doesn't mean
is
it's
we
my
tend to
fault.
choose to ignore why they were an ex. We get back into those relationships.
Sure.
We get back into the intimacy, and then the light bulb comes back on that's why they were an ex.
Well, that's our forgiveness
And
mechanism.
the
Just give it one more
reason,
time.
I'm an ex, because you couldn't handle me. You couldn't do right.
So the reason why you
Oh, no.
yeah, thrown out with the trash.
Just so we're clear, crystal clear,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
That guys, we will hunt you down like you stole something. You stole our dignity. Okay, when you broke up, you stole my dignity. Okay, and I can't have it. So I'm gonna hunt you down like you stole something, win you back, and then I'm gonna break your heart.
And we fall for it.
That is just mean. Why would you?
Yeah.
Why would a man do something like that? You're just gonna hunt me back, get me back, just to hurt me? That's
I don't
vindictive.
agree with that. I don't agree with hurting
That's
people.
vindictive.
I think hurt people feel hurt. Because I feel
You're
like
saying every man is
if you hurt me
Most men
and I
are.
say how how it
spit it
feels
like
to be
that?
hurt. I'm not gonna go out and purposely hurt somebody else. 'Cause I know how that
Hey,
feels.
we're gonna go to commercial break. We'll be right back.
Yeah,
after
because,
these
yeah,
messages.
that's true.
I think that that's just terrible.
Yeah.
Action.
When we went to commercial, these folks just yapping and yapping and yapping about this soul tie. And you know, and they wouldn't shut up the entire commercial. So now that we're back, they ain't got nothing to say. So all right, so I am hurting.
Okay.
She broke my heart. I would try to go back to her so I could break her heart because I wouldn't have it on my conscience that she dumped me. Didn't happen. Now 15 years later, I can't hold a good relationship because all I think about is that if I ever really get close to another woman, she's gonna leave me. I'm a doggone good man, but I cannot go through a heartbreak again. How do I get rid of this baggage?
Why don't you start by clearing everything that's going on within you first? What did you do to make her leave you to begin with?
I did nothing. I was good to her.
Cut it, cut it. You were
So-
probably out there running the
Hey,
street.
you're blaming the victim?
doing-
You're blaming the victim?
Victim.
I'm the victim. She broke up with me. I'm the victim.
No, you started this
I
mess.
paid her light bill. I paid her car bill. I done paid for children wasn't even mine. She left me.
Why did she leave you? You were probably out there being a dog. You were not really taking care of home because just paying the bills is not everything in a relationship. Just taking care of
Really?
a little sex every now and then. It may not even be
Every now and then.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna come to your defense. I'm actually, can you believe it? I'm actually gonna come to his defense.
Oh,
Why?
no.
I'm saving you
Very
because
private coach. Very private.
automatically it comes here. Why, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, why did it have to be what he did?
Why?
Automatically,
Why come?
when people are not together, if the relationship didn't work out, that just means that you guys weren't gonna work out. You guys weren't meant to be. I always believe that everything happens for a reason. So if you guys are not together, that means that basically you didn't fit. She wasn't good enough for you, you weren't good enough for her, or basically you two didn't have what you need for each other.
Bring you over to Team M.
Manhood,
Also,
yeah.
I think it's really
Yeah.
we each play a role in a relationship. So what you have to do is sit back and assess what was your contribution within the relationship. You have to get real and honest about what you did to contribute or what you did not do. Right.
Well, now here's the way we should look at it. First of all, again, understanding what relationship is. If you did your homework, you looked at this young lady and you said, okay, this is a young lady that I believe that could help me, that could grow me, and we can grow together. And she had things that I can use, and she, and vice versa. But now here's the catch. When two are going together, there are some times where one might veer off one way or one might veer off the other way. So it's really not your fault. It's not her fault. You just continue to grow. Now watch this. Here's the thing. What you have to do now, because again, you're still thinking in your mind that I need to stay. Something happened. Something happened. Nothing happened. You just grew apart. Going back to that, I'm sorry, the soul tie issue. And y'all don't mind, I just like to go to church for a moment. We have to understand that we are triune beings. We are people with a mind, body, and spirit. What happens is we'll give a woman our mind, and we'll give a woman our body, but we don't focus on our spirit. Now what is happening is once you give a woman your spirit, then that means you've put your all in a relationship. Yeah, you loved it, and that's a wonderful thing. But now you also have to understand, just because you gave her your mind, body, and spirit, what she probably did was saying, yes, I'll give you my mind and my body, but now hold on about that spirit thing, because maybe there's somewhere that you're going, I'm really not seeing that. And so therefore, what happens is you both decided to go different ways. It's not that you were wrong or she was wrong. It's not that there's a victim or a victor.
I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Somebody has to pay the price for victimizing me. I'm a man. I can't be laying around crying in bed and all that. Get over it.
Get over it. If you're a man, look, say it with your chest. Get over it.
How do I get over it? I
You're a
love
man.
her.
Here's the thing, let it go. She wasn't
Thank
worth it.
you.
She wasn't no good for you.
But I love
Just
her.
move on.
Somebody please give me
I
my
love her.
If she lets you go, we know,
But I
you know
love
as man to
her.
man, we know you a good
But you know what? Now watch
We
this.
know you
But
can
you know
succeed,
what?
wasn't right.
Now watch
But
this.
I'm in a fetal position over there. You tell me to get over it. I'm not in a fetal position.
But
I
the
can't
thing
just
is,
get
At some
over
point,
it.
But again,
at some point, you have to let
need
let
that
go.
tough love.
If you want to move forward, you have to let go of that.
but my thing is this: you probably don't even know why.
Women are out here?
What?
You know how many women are out here, and you crying over that one?
Because that was the one.
That's why you
Yeah,
that was
But you weren't the one for
That's
her.
what she makes you want. That's what she has conditioned you to think, that she's the best thing you could have ever had.
But she was.
No,
But
you
now-
wasn't.
but now watch
She's
this.
moved over her
me
life
on
and
that.
just said
But now, but watch this though. But now here's the end. Again, we're going back to because everybody. You're not the only one that's been in this position. I'm pretty sure if we polled about 1,000 men, there are probably about at least 500 that have been in that same situation. But the problem is, but watch this though. Yes, you can move on. Yes, you can go ahead and let it go. But now here's the thing. You've got to understand, we as men, the one word that we cannot deal with is failure.
Rejection.
When you are a failure, that is a label that a man cannot deal with. So what he'll do is he'll try to make his way back. He'll try to do, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna do this. I'll make sure. But you're not a failure in this case. This is why you're in the fetal position. That's why you got your thumb in your mouth. That's why you rolling over trying to play dead.
Yeah,
You don't
it
need
was
to do
bad,
that.
dog. It was bad.
See, you need to go ahead and
With tears and everything, snot running out. I mean, it was
exactly.
bad, man.
But you got to understand that failure is not final. Failure is not final. There's going to be somewhere that you're going to get into another
You
relationship.
think she's gonna come back to me then?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say she's gonna come back because again, like I said, failure is not final. I didn't say that you're gonna be suicidal.
She gonna come back. I don't know.
No. You don't.
Never
It's,
go back.
Then that means you prepare yourself and you better yourself in all the areas that you failed in or were negligent
Why
in
did I have to
before.
fail at anything?
Because
It's her
honestly, you can
fault.
still
Because
be
nobody is
together. Why is it her
perfect.
fault?
Everybody's
Cause
gonna
women
feel
do that to good men. That's what it is. That's
That's the reason why
Yeah,
you left.
yeah.
You think that you're perfect, that's the reason why you're alone now.
Wow. See, she said you up
You
for
gotta
another
deal with it.
failure.
Excuse me?
Nobody is perfect. You are a man to be out there woofing constantly. But I can give you, for instance, one of, an ex, we'll say that, an ex. I found out, no, I wouldn't say at any rate, I found out that he was trying to sneak with a coworker of mine. I confronted him with it, I confronted her with it. I cut him off completely. Okay, that fetal position, that crying, that boo-hooing, I didn't mean it, it was just, gonna be, no. If you're gonna share what I'm giving you and be that open with someone else to give away what I think is mine, then I don't need you at all.
But can't
I got,
sometimes
wait,
things
no.
just happen?
I came to
No.
work one day,
No.
on his knees, on the
Hey,
ground.
everybody.
I take him back, it's like, why? You broke that trust.
Can't I accidentally?
You
Exactly.
slip and fell.
You know, it was just-
You fell.
I accidentally.
No.
You fall.
It was a
Like
moment
accidentally
of
bust your head, too.
weakness.
See how that works?
We take it back. That's what I mean. You take it back.
Ah, no, you might slip and
fall
fall.
on the sidewalk, you don't fall into someone's coochie.
but now here's my thing. But now here's my thing. But watch this though. But let's go back to the rules. Let's go back to the rules. When you first start off, you already let them know this is the way we're looking at our relationship. Well, first of all, let's go back. Let's say I do like you. Let's say that I do want to have a better relationship with you. And then all of a sudden we say, hey, things are going great, things are going good, but be mindful. If you do this, if you say this, then, no, it's not stipulation, it's called rules. Because what will happen is, see, a stipulation is you better. See, that's different than if this happens. See, you don't put a stipulation on a man, because a man will go just like this, all right then, I'm going to do it anyway.
So are you
So
saying
here's the
that?
thing, so if she don't say nothing, so if she don't say what the rules are,
Oh, wait a minute.
then things like the situation she said can just happen because there were no rules.
So-
I didn't know what the rules
No, no,
were.
no.
So when I got with her, I didn't know you felt that hard about it. So that's what happened again. I know now.
No, wait a minute.
Because
Time
you
out.
brought it to
Time
my
out.
attention.
Now
I didn't know
that's fair.
before.
That was fair.
Now,
That was fair. Now I
In a
know.
relationship, if we're together, like you're saying,
Okay, so
First,
it's just you and me.
define a relationship.
We're
Then we
defining,
have-
yes.
then we had a
define
relationship
it.
talk.
Have we had the talk?
We not had the
Yes,
talk.
we have to have the talk.
Okay, so with us having that talk, aren't we already assuming that you're not gonna slip and fall into anything?
Assuming does a bad thing.
But
So
then-
let me ask you, what happens if I slip and fall?
Now watch this. Again, we're talking about the difference between all of us here.
Okay.
There are some of us who have that type of casual relationship where I didn't know oops, it happened. But then again, no, that's a casual thing because the fact is if you into somebody the way you're supposed to be into them, that won't happen.
That will not
That's number
happen.
one.
It shouldn't happen.
Are you suggesting that men are built for monogamy?
No.
Because I would suggest men are not built for monogamy. We must choose monogamy. So if I'm in a relationship, that if we have the relationship conversation, we're in a relationship. If we don't specifically outline this is monogamous, then all I know that we're in a relationship, but there are other options.
But now watch this. What you said, we choose.
And you're saying that you're not in
Yeah,
a
are we-
monogamous relationship?
Are we living together?
Are we living together?
Are we living together?
I said we're in a relationship.
Look at that. Look, he jumped up and living together. Who paying the rent?
I'm trying to figure
I see.
if we're living together, we had to have this conversation. Living together
I would
means
hope
this.
you had that
Because
conversation.
we're living together, I don't plan to marry you, but we're gonna live together. You know, whatever the conversation is. You know, we're living together, I'm gonna pay these bills, I'm gonna pay these bills. Here's what intimate expectations I have at the household. Here's what intimate expectations you have at the household. Here is when we go vacation, are we gonna live like husband and wife? We're gonna have this conversation. But if monogamy is not part of that conversation, if you assume monogamy and we don't have the conversation, it's just your bad assumption.
But then again, but like you're saying again, if you're going to be, now hear what you just said. If we're going to be husband and wife, or if we're going to live like that, no, you said because you already said we live in life.
Wifey duty.
Okay, but my thing is this: if you're gonna sit up here, why would I? Now we're talking about time. Because see, now I'm wasting my time. If I'm not going to, first of all, number one.
First of all, I ain't living with you. I ain't worried about you wasting your time. I'm talking to you.
No. I'm not gonna have anybody. Watch this. No. I'm not gonna have anybody in my home. I'm not gonna invite anybody in my home as somebody that's gonna be with, and she's gonna be telling me this and telling me that. Because what's going to happen is there's going to be a problem. Because now she's going to be looking for something that is not there.
That's why we had a conversation. So you know up front. That's why you got to date older women. They understand
So,
rules.
wait a minute. Let me ask you something. When we're talking about someone giving you these rules and telling you you're not to do this and that, are we still talking about monogamy? Because I still feel like I shouldn't have to tell you that.
Why not? My assumption should be my assumption.
No, watch this.
If I don't know. Okay, here's a perfect example.
All right,
Other show they were talking about baggage.
Okay.
Other show they were talking about baggage. And we'll come right back to that.
Very good. Very good.
Good job.
Excellent bumper. Thank you.
One, action.
And welcome back to the rules. You know, when we went to commercial, these folks were gabbing and just talking it up. And what we really want, what we were talking about with the soul tie, and what we're going to do with soul tie. How do I get rid of a soul tie? We know what it is. We know what damage it causes. How do I get rid of it?
You have to purge yourself from that soul tie. You have to
Purge
purge.
myself. That sounds like I got to take an enema. And
Well,
I
you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. But you have to really purge yourself. You have to purge yourself from that. You have to make a conscious decision to say, hey, I've dated XYZ. I'm in a relationship with her, and it's her alone. Once you make a conscious decision about something, you can move forward. It's all about forward movement and all about what it is that you want to do with that. And you have to
So just because I can be faithful to my new woman, I just gotta be faithful and I can love her, doesn't mean I've actually dealt with that soul tie.
That's right.
You
That's
gotta do
true.
the mortal words of Teddy Pendergrass
What's that?
when it comes to soul tie. You gotta turn them off.
Yes. Turn the lights off. Shut it down.
Cut it off.
Yeah. Cut it off. Shut it down.
You can't have any contact with the person. You can't talk to them because you know all of that's connecting with the soul tie. So in order for you to break free of something, you gotta totally separate yourself from it.
No, but
But we got children together.
No, but
Well,
first.
Children together.
No, but that's what I don't like is that when you have children together,
when a man says to you, I'm not in love with her, but I will always love her because she's the mother of my children.
Right.
I don't break that down. I don't get that. Because you said we have children together, and how are we gonna break the soul tie?
That's two
And
different
so
roles.
that's
That's the level of respect and
That's
courtesy,
it.
because, you know, even though my baby father, we weren't together, it's a level of respect that just needs to be.
Because it takes a lot to bear the seed of somebody, so there's always going to be that mutual respect. But just like he said, turning off detox, we got to remember, because one thing women are bad for is we hold on to memories that are actually shackles. Okay,
Come
we
on.
shackle
That's
ourselves to
true.
things that, because we can look at a picture or something, and that may be a memory, and our mind gets tunnel vision and stops right there. We don't go beyond that. After we took that picture, we argued for 6 hours, and he disrespected me, and he slammed his way out of the door. We stay right there in that tunnel vision or whatever. So we have to break free of those chains. Purge is a good thing. Detox,
Another thing,
Right, absolutely.
like, this is really random, but this is what
Yeah,
I,
it's
from
all
my
right.
research. what's that? AA?
Yeah,
AA meetings?
yeah, let's go.
Have y'all
Hi, my
ever-
name is Rhonda.
No, I know, I don't drink, I've never been alcoholic, but when you get the time, research their manual.
That's it, all of the
That
different
one
things you
too,
go through.
like even when I do the different speaking engagements, being saved, nothing was being delivered.
That's
When
right.
you be saved, you acknowledge the sin.
That's right.
To be delivered, you gotta go through steps 1 through 12.
Right.
Acknowledging the sin, acknowledging who you hurt,
That's it.
taking your responsibility, forgiving them, forgiving ourselves. Sometimes we take people back because we didn't forgive ourselves for hurting them.
Right.
Well, maybe we
So people-
sometimes, I mean, I agree,
I have a
but
hard
just
time
at the
forgetting
same
her for
time,
hurting me.
because
Wait a minute.
same thing,
But you
just
gotta-
saying at the same time, that person may have changed. So maybe you just wanna give them
You don't gotta be the
It's, but it's not about them changing.
But I'm just saying, what if they change?
But
you know what? It's not about that.
I met a girl here, not to cut you off. I met a girl who said her parents, they got divorced and then they got remarried.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
But that's not for everybody. Like a lot of people kept saying he's an ex for a reason. I really can't agree to that because sometimes you gotta be into something. You gotta be into something to learn and grow, to know
Well,
yourself.
that's true, because my aunt and uncle were married, got divorced, and she married him again, and they got divorced again because to my thing, he had not changed. She thought he had changed, but he had not changed because it was the
But
same.
you know what,
old
that
thing.
makes me think, there's a word, this is a big word, if you will, it's called inordinate affection. And what that basically means is that we are attaching things to things that where it doesn't belong.
Right.
You know, and so I wanna keep taking him back because I keep believing, even though there's no signs, I keep believing that he has something that I need, that I can give from him, but he never existed that thing, so I have this attachment to him that should never exist. It's the people who have mommy issues and daddy issues.
Right. It's that hope thing. It's that hope thing.
That's
You're
what it is.
hoping
You're
that
hoping.
he's changed.
It's
You're
not
hoping
you.
that
You're not gonna get
yeah.
them there. It
You
didn't
wanna
happen
give-
to you.
Right.
If
You
I
wanna
may
give them
interject,
the
ladies, if I
opportunity.
may interject, listen. One way to overcome a soul tie, just to get back on the point here, on the topic. One way to to get past the soul tie.
Soul
is,
tie.
Number one, I think a good exercise would be to set 2 chairs up. You sit down in one chair and have the other chair facing you. And you talk to that chair as if that chair is another person. And you tell that chair how they hurt you, how they made you feel, how they tore you down. And you also tell that chair that, look, I forgive you, and I won't hold any grudges. And you had that. See, you need closure in order to break the soul tie as well, because it's a part of forgiveness and healing. And folks, let's just get it right. You won't get anything done without forgiving somebody first.
That's true.
But no one
You
knows
have to
how to.
forgive somebody to break the soul
But don't
tie.
you think?
Fake
Don't you?
forgiveness.
But no one knows how to
Don't you
forget.
think
I have
that's
some
an excuse?
Exactly. They get
Sometimes
back
people
in.
use that soul tie as an excuse to
That's
do what
it.
it is that they want to do.
That's true.
Because you can get
But
rid of
we
it,
talking
but I
about
think,
breaking it, though.
yeah, but I think that it's an excuse.
Because
It's
some
a-
people
it's a
leave you
crutch.
when you don't have
So
chance to
you
get
still can
close.
think about that person.
But people don't know that to know. Sometimes people don't know what to give you. They don't know how to. They don't know how to let it go. They're not. You're not always gonna get that. That's the reality. You're not always going to get that. Sorry, because a lot of times people don't know. Like my dad.
Yeah, coach, but somebody abandoned you, and you don't know where they are.
But they have
Right,
abandonment issues, so you'll never really know because they don't have. That means to address
But the
them.
first step is, and even if you can find them,
Right. Okay.
if you can find them, I think it's important to find them and have the conversation. If for no other reason, I'm not really interested in telling them how they hurt me. What I'm interested in is saying, I'm sorry for allowing us to be in this position where I've been tied to you. And because I'm tied to you, you have not been free to
Can I
go
send them a
be.
Facebook?
But how do you say, how do you know that
I'm talking about breaking the actual soul tie, yo.
But how do you know that I'm not free? You're just assuming, I mean, I may be free, but you may be thinking that I'm not free because you're not
All
free.
right, but forgiving people isn't about them.
It's not about.
Right.
It is
No,
about
we-
them.
we-
So aren't you responsible for your own closure?
No,
I'm just asking.
but-
No,
and the
No,
reason-
in the reality, I think I agree with her. You are responsible for
your
your own
own
closure.
closure.
You are.
Because like my daughter's father passed away.
What do you do?
Never,
Well, see,
no, what I'm saying is I never got to have that conversation.
That's
I mean,
where the
we were
two-chair exercise
we were
comes
in a
in.
we were in a good
For somebody
but-
who's been abandoned
But at the
or
same
somebody
time,
who
that
lost
goes to what
somebody
she
to death.
said, getting your own closure. I can't call him. I want to go dig him up and say,
Yeah, but
hey,
here's
you know,
the-
That's right.
that time at band camp, you know, it didn't work out. Okay, when men break up, men go on or whatever. Women always want to know why. There's never a woman who does not get violated.
That is true.
You
And
always
we
give
want to
women
know,
the victim
no,
role.
and no, it's not.
Yeah,
It's not the
yeah.
victim. That's the
Yeah,
victim. It's not
man,
the
broke
victim.
up.
That's
Why
the
you always gotta be the
reality.
one to
A
lead?
woman always wants to know why, and one of the things I tell women, you will never know why. You have to find a comfort within yourself.
That's
to be
right.
able to
And
do
it
that's
goes
what I'm
back
saying.
to
Just
knowing
like she
yourself.
said,
Right.
and she
But
said
here-
he may not even know why. One of the sisters said before, it just did not work. It didn't fit. I wish the bishop was up here because one of the things that people don't understand, and yes, I'm going to church now, they don't
I'ma go
respect
with
the
Let's go to
covenant.
church.
Okay,
Well, people
they don't
don't know
understand
I'm a
the
pastor, so we
covenant. They
talk.
don't understand what the covenant means. Okay, they don't understand that when you stand before God, you are talking to God and making a covenant
Correct.
that this is the person that I know. See, one of the things we got to stop doing as women is going to look for a husband. You're supposed to stay
Not
and let
our
your
role.
husband found you
Come
because
on.
that's not
But,
your
okay,
role.
but let me-
When I
but
sat-
we
hold
never-
on.
we-
When
I'm
I
sorry.
sat still and I let God bring the man that He designed for me, I
Right.
saved myself a lot.
But
of
we
heartache.
learned that later on in life.
Yes.
If I would have known that, that would have saved me a lot of headaches
A lot of heartache.
a long time ago.
Let's talk
But
about
I'm
it.
just-
Which is why we're hosting this show.
Right.
We want y'all to
Because-
learn
right,
this.
yeah. I know the perfect thing, but I didn't know that. Nobody told me that I needed to wait
Right?
for God
Yeah, man.
to find somebody for me. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have went through all those life.
But
That's
you
what
were
an
told-
example.
but in a perfect world, that's not
I
a
was
perfect
not told.
world. Our parents told us, our grandparents, somebody told us.
No,
but again,
no,
we
nobody-
chose
But ladies,
to
let's just be realistic. Listen.
Okay, be
You
realistic.
made a point when you wish the bishop was up here. Well, the bishop was up here. I'm a pastor myself, but I don't go around telling everybody that because I'm not just here to reach Christians. I'm here to reach Muslims, Buddhists, atheists. I want to reach everybody because everybody needs to know how to be set free from this thing. So my thing is not that we not always polarize ourselves because we don't want to alienate the people who need the information as well. Because sometimes we have to use wisdom in being Christians. We need not to turn people off through religion. We need to learn how to give them wisdom.
the worst fault.
That's what I'm saying. So
Let's understand.
if it wasn't for me telling you, you would never know that I am.
Let's understand.
What are you saying, Coach?
Let's understand that if the churches talked about this, everybody would be better.
I agree.
If the church knew how to handle
But that's-
these type of
but that's it. You know, the
conversations.
church
But
is
we
so
need
scared
to
to
talk about
sex.
real time situations. Churches be masking stuff for the sake of having their congregations full. They don't want to have them real life conversations.
So are we saying that we should?
So be honest, let's be right.
Let's be honest about it.
While we're not gonna do a diatribe on churches, the thing
Right,
is
right.
that for relationships, the reason we gotta have this show is because churches aren't talking up to the folks.
And not only churches, parents are talking
Right,
about
okay.
it.
Parents are
Right now,
I want to
but
ask
they
a
don't
question.
know
What
about it.
No,
They suffer from
they
taboo.
know.
I don't
How do
believe that.
how do you bridge this now? I mean, we already know what the problem is. So I have my daughter. She's what age should we start? She's 5, 6, 7 years old. Should we begin to start having classes and letting them know groups or have
We
sit
should
downs
have
with-
family life in school, but what they have done is there's an option.
No,
Sometimes
no.
with too many
But
options,
even that, here's how we learn everything. Okay, our first teachers are our parents.
that's it.
Good, bad, or
Yeah,
indifferent.
but the thing of it
Good,
is,
bad, or
I'm sorry.
indifferent.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Our first teachers are parents. Good, bad, or indifferent. And we have a responsibility to live a life and to present the right answers. Now,
But that doesn't
But
always
that-
work
but that's the
because the
blind-
life
but it
lessons
comes
and the
down
things
to the
that
blind
you
leading the
see that your
blind.
parents go through. I mean, I've seen my mom go through a lot of things. I'm not saying that my dad, I said a lot about my dad. I'm not saying my dad was a great provider.
That's right.
Don't even get me wrong. He really, really was. But I saw my mom stand by a man that really wasn't worthy. I mean, again, I love my dad. So what I'm
put a
saying,
comment right here. Put a comment
Right,
right here.
okay, comment.
And we'll be back.
All right.
What he said is trying to be.
Let me tell you something.
Trying to be an example.
Stand by. Okay. Love you guys. Love you guys. Nikki.